a world where up is now down and left is now right.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together.
The world is on fire and we are all doomed.
We're doomed.
Doomed! I told you!
We're doomed!
Doomed! We're doomed.
Our universe is doomed!
Relax, take a break from the insanity and laugh.
It unites humanity in a way that no one ever thought possible.
It's reality on call waiting.
Blast off.
Welcome to it. Rotten, Nikki Tsundere here with you.
We're back.
Episode 4. Not A New Hope, but episode 4.
You just had to say that because we watched that stupid video with that guy crying. Jesus Christ.
All right, so happy Mueller Day.
Happy Mueller Day!
For anybody who's living under a rock, apparently the Mueller report was released today. And
is it Mueller or Mueller?
It could have been. It could be Muffler for all I care.
Mueller.
We're not even. We're not even going to get into the Mueller report. We're just going to say, "Hey, the Mueller report came out. Woo!
Happy Mueller Day!"
Hey, who gives a flying flip?
Well, I do.
Wait,
Look, I said I do, and that's it. I care. It's out. I care. I care that it.
You know what would be great? It would be great if now that it's out in its redacted form and everything, of course, redacted because, can't divulge national security secrets or whatever, blah, 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 blah. It would just be great if everybody who had been bitching this whole time about release the full report, even though they knew it was actually going to be coming out anyways, it would be great if all of these people would just shut the up about it.
No. Now they're going after his taxes.
It's over. It's done with. Shut the up.
No, it's never over.
I know.
It's never over. Loonies never say die.
Which is why we try to ignore the political crap because there's no joy in it.
Honestly, we cannot compete with Mark Levin.
There are people paid to do that shit. Okay, there are people paid
Ben
to do
Shapiro.
It.
So if you're here for politics,
or Chris Matthews or Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough.
I don't count those people.
You have to count those people.
They don't have podcasts.
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do? Sorry, people, then. I did not know that. That's how bad that is for them.
Basically, if it's a thing, if it's a show, they make it into a podcast.
Okay.
The podcast space has been invaded with all of these major broadcasters basically repackaging their radio shows or their TV shows and slapping it on the internet for everybody to consume.
Sweet.
Actual podcasters who just do a podcast, they're mainly independent people now.
All right. Well,
so
if you're here for politics, you've
get the fuck out.
No.
If you're here for politics, get the fuck out.
No. Let's not be rude.
We have more fun.
That's my job to be rude. I'm the bad guy. No, you're just in the wrong place. So if
at the wrong time.
Well,
so
just
get the fuck out.
Go back to the main menu and look for talk, and you'll find it. But try to narrow.
Look
your
under
search.
news and politics.
Yes, look under politics because this is not it.
That's where you can get the talking heads.
That's where you get politics because it's just not here.
All right, so we have Mueller Day, and we also have Happy Chucky Day, Trailer Day. Woo!
Oh yes,
Happy Chucky Trailer Day.
We have ever since the whole debacle with the Pet Cemetery movie, I've been noticing on Facebook they've been hyping the Chucky Child's Play 2019 is what it's called. Child's Play 2019. I don't understand that.
In other words, this isn't a straight reboot. It's not a reboot. It's a straight remake.
Oh,
they intend this to be its own thing that kind of stands on its own 2 feet. That although it borrows from, it's like RoboCop 2014.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's from my research on this movie. Basically, they pretty much kicked Brad Dourif and the original writer of the Child's Play movie to the curb. They were like, get the out of here. All right, we're going to do it our way. So, screw you.
Which is exactly what they did with RoboCop in 2014. It was a remake, but it has a new sense of continuity. So it's not directly a remake of the original, Like, this movie is not going to be a complete remake of the original Child's Play. This establishes a new continuity and brings it into a new light.
Well, that's a really fancy term of saying this is what we're seeing continuously out of Hollywood right now, is this arrogance of, I know how to do it better. I'm going to do it my way, but I'm not going to really put forth the effort of real plot development or real character development, because I don't know about you. I posted it on our Facebook page, the trailer. You need to check it out for yourself. There's one thing that I see in this trailer that just bothers me, and it just it kills whatever magic there would be from it. For one, I mean, are we going to play the trailer? Is there even?
No.
There's no point.
There's no point.
I think we played it maybe last episode. So they're hyping the trailer because this is the one where Mark Hamill finally speaks.
He says one line.
Yeah, it pretty much reminds you of that one Star Wars where he was in it, where he just shows up at the end and says nothing. Okay, well, at the end of the trailer, he says, what does he say? Andy? Yeah. It's just like maybe 2 words. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, so the movie stars Aubrey Plaza, which
I don't know who the hell
she
that is.
is one of the least convincing actresses out there.
She looks
for some odd reason, everybody seems to love her. She's 34 years old. She's got like this moderate attractiveness to her.
She looks like a mix mash of AOC and what's her name from Clerks 2.
Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just
God,
a little bit.
No,
I mean,
don't insult Rosario Dawson from Clerks 2.
I will insult Rosario Dawson any way I want to.
Always got to go political, don't you?
It's not political.
Okay.
I think she's funky looking.
So she was in Parks and Rec on NBC.
Never seen it.
And
legend has it that's where douchebag from Guardians of the Galaxy came from. Except he was fat.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go with sure. I think he was.
I think he was
part of it. But she is not one, I don't find her overly funny. And yes, Chris Pratt did come from Parks and Rec. Yes. I don't find her to be overly funny. I don't find her to be overly good at acting. I could be wrong. And hey, Liz and Terry at the Happily Cinemarried podcast, if you guys want to correct me, please feel free to let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know, because I would be really curious to hear what you guys have to say. But the main, I guess you would say the main character, Andy, he gets a murderous doll.
Okay. The kid looks like he's like 12. And
guess what? They've cast him to be 13.
Oh my God. Okay, that's even... Okay, why would a 13-year-old have a doll? I'm sorry, and this is omitting, all the little fanboys that collect, statues, PVC figures, stuff like anime stuff, okay? But I mean, like a little My Buddy doll. There's something seriously wrong. At that age, if your mom brought you that home, you'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you, Mom?
Yeah, pretty much.
No. Yeah, that stuff is over. It's like you want titty mags. I don't know. You want something more. You want a dirt bike.
At 13, you want
a dirt bike, an ATV.
That, or you definitely want let's see, video game consoles.
Oh yeah.
You want the latest and greatest. You want you want things that you can interact with that are gonna, stimulate you for a good long while.
You don't want
a doll is not gonna do it.
It's just weird. Like for me, when I'm watching the trailer, I'm going, okay, stop. I don't care that it's a AI doll, that it's artificial intelligence. It's still my buddy. And why it's being given to this obvious preteen is just weird. It's very strange. I mean, to me, that's just a huge plot. I can't even call it a plot hole. It's just What were they thinking?
Yeah, mind you, in the 1988 Child's Play, Andy was 6.
Yeah, he was 5 or 6.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because that was the age, okay, I get it. That's what it was marketed to.
Okay, and think about this. Aubrey Plaza, 34.
Okay.
Andy in this movie, 13.
Well, she got started young. I mean, okay.
21.
I mean, there's some that even got... Back in my mother's and my grandmother's day, my grandmother had my mom when she was like 13, so, But then again, they're from the hills, so us hill folk.
Okay.
Yes. Well, they got started early.
Yeah, but, in the 1988 version, Catherine Hicks playing the mother, I mean, that was a bit more believable.
Yeah, it was...
I mean, she went out, she saved those whales.
And then she had to go work retail,
And then she bought a murderous doll for her.
Well, to be fair, she did buy it from a friggin' hobo. You don't buy a doll from a friggin' hobo.
All right, so your overall impression of this 2019 Child's Play movie?
It looks like it's trying to be... It looks like... Well, okay, my overall assessment is it is just fiery garbage that's going to sink in the box office, just like Pet Sematary did. I mean, you can do all the hype you want. Shit is shit. It doesn't change that. I think the sad thing is I think they had a good concept, but just not with this movie because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, what are you going to do? Exactly. Okay, you've got artificial intelligence. Is it a hacker that's made the doll do this? Is it a virus? How are you going to have this one singular doll go on a murderous rampage if you're not going to have the whole voodoo thing? And I'm sorry, you just can't have me believing that Mark Hamill's going to be running around playing the role of Brad Dourif because Dourif was like, what, 30-something? I mean... Yeah,
but he was just a voice.
Not in the first one. Dourif was actually in the beginning because remember, that's him and Prince Humperdinck, that had the fight in the toy store.
Well, I see them. I can understand them updating and going to more like a tech route because from what I saw in the trailer, they had like the mobile app with the that controls your thermostats and controls this and controls that. So I mean, they're talking about like I guess this interfaces with like smart home technology and everything.
Okay, well then
I get that.
Okay,
I understand. I understand adapting and modernizing the storyline, going away from voodoo to mobile apps and smart homes and technology going.
I know, but
awry.
why would you give a child that control? Is my question. Why? That's just stupid altogether. It's like, okay, so basically this doll can control everything. That's genius. Give a child who obviously should not be in control of these things control. Alrighty. There's another huge plot hole. I mean, that's just stupid.
But kids today could do things with computers and things that we can't.
Well, that's fine, but you don't voluntarily hand it to them. It's like, oh, well, I know you're gonna end up setting the house on fire. So here's some matches and some gasoline. I mean, don't insult my intelligence. Please don't.
Well, since we're bitching about movies.
Ooh, which one are you going to bitch about?
Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Is that the one that dude was just crying about?
Okay, so, yes. They released the first teaser trailer for it a few days ago. And everybody's losing their mind over it because, oh my God, it's going to be so amazing and so wonderful. Sorry, no, it's not.
I don't care anymore.
Star Wars ended at Jedi. The Star Wars saga started with Star Wars in 1977, ended with Jedi in 1983. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Sorry, that's the only way to look at it. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 that George Lucas did were terrible. The Force Awakens, total remake of the 77 Star Wars.
Yeah.
Except instead of a Death Star, you had a Death Planet.
Well, I did like...
Instead of the Empire, you had the First Order.
Okay, but I did like... what was his name? I just call him Cat Guy because he looks like a cat. The bad guy, Kylo Ren. Okay. I thought he was funny as hell just because of his temper tantrums. And
yeah.
But the movie was bad.
But Episode 8, That one was terrible.
Then they started
the big fight scene. Your big freaking fight scene at the end of it. Luke Skywalker's not even on the same damn planet. Really? He's gonna fight a freaking hologram? Are you kidding me? Walt Disney, kiss my ass.
No, and the whole fuel.
Everything became fuel.
Everything was fuel. See, again, it's like these new writers are creating more problems that weren't there before. It's strange. It's so odd. I don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
I really don't. It's like you've just written yourself into a corner on purpose. Alrighty. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's becoming more commonplace. I'm noticing that more and more with movies. It's like I don't.
So we were this morning at my other job. We watched this video where this guy's reacting to this new Star Wars trailer. And this guy, I guess he's never met a woman, touched a woman, anything.
He looked like he was having an orgasm, or some lady said, "Yes, I will screw you, even though you are not the last man on Earth, and I'll do it for free."
Part of me wondered if he was kind of jerking it during it.
Oh, gross!
But I didn't necessarily want to go there. I'm
glad you didn't bring that up when we were watching it, because like, but I mean, you could have taken and superimposed him into other situations that made much more sense of having that reaction.
Yeah,
like, here's your baby.
Yeah, but this guy is straight up crying and asking, "How do they make it more epic every time? They make it even more epic, dude." No, they're not making it. This does not look epic.
Look, I was excited when the Jigsaw movie came out. Of course, I was very pissed and disappointed once it was over. But I mean, you can remember every time a trailer,
you were very excited.
I was like, and when we were sitting there in the movie theater, I was just, as soon as you saw the Lionsgate whole
You're thinking,
opening,
all right,
I'm like, and
Twisted Pictures.
Oh yeah, and I start hearing dun 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 dun. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, you were ready to rock and roll for it.
Yeah, and then about halfway through it, I was like,
this sucks. I want to go.
I was like, what the hell is going on? And then at the end of it, I was
speak
like,
for the dead.
Oh yeah, that was it. I was like, oh come on!
Couldn't even say game over.
I think I did scream that in the theater.
Yes,
you
did.
Oh come on!
Yeah. So this guy's losing his mind over it, crying and everything, and I don't get it. And there are things that I will geek out to, and things I will nerd out on, and things I will get very excited about, but not to that level.
I don't understand the people react to crap, period, though. I really don't.
But what are we doing? Right now we're reacting to the Child's Play trailer. We're reacting to, this guy watching the Star Wars trailer. We're reacting to the reaction of.
Okay, I get that.
We are
but
guilty. We are just as guilty.
No, we're not, because we don't have cameras on us.
Yes, that's true.
Focusing on us, in our facial, which I'm sure ours are a hell of a lot better than most, because I've seen a lot of these react to, and they're just like, ours are, most of my reactions, they're like, what the fuck? That's typically my face, and I'll even mouth it every once in a while,
Exactly. Yeah.
Do a couple of face palms, But no, it's just the arrogance of it. That's just, I guess that's the society that we've become. It's very twisted, very twisted. And moving on with twisted sort of society, a man is suing his parents over his trashed porn collection.
See, I could see the guy that we were watching do the Star Wars thing. I could see him doing this.
Yeah.
I could see, because he was like, "Oh, I'm on vacation." I'm like, "Oh, in other words, your parents kicked you out." Because I'm sure that you're living in your parents' basement.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, if this is the guy.
Well, if he's in Indiana, yeah.
Well, a man now living in Indiana, originally from, I guess, the Grand Haven, Michigan area, suing his parents after he says they destroyed his valuable porn collection. Now, our source, Fox 17, is identifying the plaintiff in this story as Charlie. This is a civil case without any associated criminal charges. Yeah, I would really like to see you file criminal charges against your parents for destroying your porn collection. But apparently, back in October 20...
Pornhub?
Exactly. Back in October 2016, according to the lawsuits, Charlie moved into his parents' home in Grand Haven after going through a divorce from his wife. Charlie apparently stayed for 10 months in their home doing housework in lieu of paying rent.
Well, now we know. Now we know why he got divorced.
He was asked to leave after police had to be called to the house in August of 2017 for a domestic situation. His parents allegedly traveled in November 2017 to his new place in Indiana to drop off possessions he had left at their home. Allegedly missing from the items they brought, Charlie's massive pornography collection.
Why the hell didn't he bring it with him?
Chuck says his parents told him that they had destroyed the entire collection, a collection that consisted of over 12 moving boxes full of movies.
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of porn.
That is a lot. See, in this day and age, that is, yes, that is a lot of porn.
So I gotta ask. I wonder if it's VHS, because those might actually be worth something if they were the old VHS
or DVDs, at least from
DVDs wouldn't be as expensive. Because they all.
Well, they wouldn't be as big either. How do you feel? Well, now are we talking just videos? Are we talking magazines?
Yeah, now when you start thinking about it, if it's like, the old Playboys.
If he's got a lot of Swank or Hustler or Penthouse.
Oh, God, Swank is so gross. Yikes.
Yeah.
I don't consider Playboy porn. That's not porn.
No, because you don't look at it for the pictures. You look at it for the articles. Well, they're very well written.
Well,
very tasteful.
It's just a nudie magazine.
Yeah.
There's no penetration, so.
There's no.
I feel raped when I look at a
Swank.
Swank.
You don't get the pink shot. Yeah.
Swank, I seriously feel raped. I'm like, oh my God, how many has she taken? Oh, Lord.
Now, I want to know how they arrived at this, okay? The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office was eventually called about the destroyed items. Chuck filed a police report estimating the value of his collection.
He's got it down to the cent, man.
Okay, to be $28,940.72. How did you arrive at that?
This guy must be really anal.
Do you have all of your receipts?
He must be really anal retentive. He probably got an Excel spreadsheet documenting the value of each one.
And is he going for a double penetration, going for suing both parents?
Oh, that's just a whole new level of wrong right there. Oh,
just a month after filing a police report.
I'm sure if we go to Pornhub, there is a fetish for that.
I'm sure. Chuck apparently began corresponding with his father via email, telling him in part, "If you had a problem with my belongings, you should have stated that at the time, and I would have gone elsewhere. Instead, you choose to keep quiet and behave vindictively." His father, according to the lawsuit, responded, "Believe it or not, one reason for why I destroyed your porn was for your own mental and emotional health. I would have done the same if I had found a kilo of crack cocaine. Someday I hope you will understand."
Yeah, right. He would have smoked that.
Now, Charlie's father said in one email that his son was allegedly kicked out of high school and college for selling porn to other students, saying in the documents, "I also warned you at the time if I ever found pornography in my house again, I would destroy it." Okay, so the prosecutor's office declined filing charges, but Charlie is now suing his parents. Now, I want to know how you arrived at this total. $86,822.16 in damages.
Punitive damages. Those are going to be punitive damages.
Okay, again, in this day and age, why do you have physical porn?
Well, he said it's not just out of print, but the entire studio dissolved that was making it 20 years ago.
Okay, what?
Okay, so what? I hate to say this, and I'll be really blunt. What you may value something, or you see, have other collectors tell you the value is, until you actually try to sell that, you're not going to get that value. It doesn't matter. I have collectors items, and I've watched some of them that, the value of them go straight down the shitter, and I'm like, oh my God, this thing was worth $1,000. Now I can't even give it away. That just happens with collectibles. It's a risk. All these idiots buying all these pop figures, hey, you're going to find out real quick, they ain't worth that amount of money. I'm sorry. I'm getting that from the Pawn Star episode that we watched.
Yeah, but I have some of those.
But you're not collecting them like
That's
that
true.
Dork. So it's not a crack on you. It's just that.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say.
First of all,
But this next person, I've got to say, I have to salute them. I think
You are one ballsy mother
I think
ever.
that the country of Japan would even salute them.
Oh, Japan is probably going to pay for this guy's like legal costs.
Oh yeah, because a thief steals $21,000 worth of panties from Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, police in Lower Allen Township in
Philadelphia.
Around Philadelphia say someone stole $21,000 worth of panties from a Victoria's Secret. The incident happened around 3 p.m. at the store inside the Capital City Mall. According to police, the thief stole 2,000 pairs of panties, totaling $21,000.
And
they were on the front display. Huh?
Well, okay, so if they were on the front display, that means they were out in the open. It's like basically you just reach in and start shoving them down your pants.
And 3 p.m. on a weekend. Yeah, the mall's going to be really busy. But, I mean...
And they do have overpriced panties, I will say that. Well, they do.
Well, hold on. I'm looking something up.
I used to be a huge Victoria's Secret person, but when they eliminated their clothesline and then they jerked their panties up, okay, that just didn't come out right. They jerked the prices up on all their bras and panties and whatnots. It just, I was like, I don't think so.
Okay, Ultra Luxe, 3 for $36. Ultra Comfy, 5 for $28.50. Let's see. Discover our lineup of panties. And yes, I am currently on the Victoria's Secret website looking at their panties to get pricing and everything else. Because I'm kind of curious as to. Okay. Okay. How did he get 2,000 pairs of panties out of there?
Well, if they were loose, like had them in a front display where they're just loose and they're not on a hanger. It's just like kind of at Walmart where you go on the little in the panty area where they just have them loose, where you can just grab a handful and throw them in the cart. Well, you just grab a handful of them and start throwing them in your pants or in your shopping bag, or I don't know.
I would guess he had a couple of big shopping bags for these. I mean,
well, wearing really baggy pants.
True.
That's the first time baggy pants would actually come in handy.
Okay, but what are you gonna do with 2,000 pairs of stolen panties from Victoria's Secret?
I got several animes that could show you what they do.
Well, okay,
I mean, you can roll around in them. You can put them on your face.
Well, see, but typically,
eat them.
But with
wear them
in Japanese fetishes and everything. Typically, you would want to have a woman's scent on them.
Not always. Sometimes there's just panty people. I mean, there's panty thieves that will steal them from the stores. They'll steal them after they've been washed. But yes, there are vending machines in Japan that sell used schoolgirls' underwear.
Yeah, I mean, so this is it's kind of a senseless crime in my mind, but it's funny as hell.
Oh, it's funny as hell. I mean, I say more. That's pretty damn creative and funny.
Now, before we get moving on with other stories that captured our attention and our imaginations, last week we had a poll asking the audience, should Nikki Tsundere start a GoFundMe campaign to buy a bird since kids are out of the equation? Or out of the question, I should say. We put a poll up on Twitter, did an informal poll, and good news. It's a good news, bad news situation. Depends on how you want to look at it.
Good news for you, I'm assuming?
No. It's a good news, bad news. The yays, 50%. The nays, 50%. It's split right down the middle.
We see, here's the thing. We're not asking if you want the bird. We're not asking your opinion about birds.
I think that the nays are saying more along the lines of
go buy it your damn self.
Yeah, if you want a bird, go buy it yourself.
You know, they're like $3,000 people.
And the yays are saying, well, I mean, you could start it.
Nobody will give any.
I was gonna say I don't think it would really gain unless you wrote the description and everything right. It probably wouldn't gain much traction. But hey, you could always try.
I will post naked pictures with the bird. I will teach the bird to say naughty things.
So what you're saying is that you would be a naked woman with a bird who would most likely lead cops on a high-speed chase.
Yes, I would.
Like this trio of women who claim to be air drying after Interstate 75 rest area shower.
In Florida.
Oh crap!
It's in Florida.
Oh crap! Oh, okay. So we've kind of hit the okay. Welcome to the Florida section of the podcast.
Yeah.
Everything that we're going to be talking about from here on, this is all thanks to you, the state of Florida.
Thank you, Florida.
We really need a lot of subscribers from Florida.
I do news for a Florida station. I would never report these stories since it's a Christian station, but
yeah, exactly.
And it sucks because there's so many good stories.
Yeah, like this one. 3 naked women fresh from the shower at a Florida rest stop told cops they were air drying in public when spotted by a witness who called 911, precipitating a high-speed chase that resulted in the trio's arrest on multiple felony charges. The witness, police say, reported that the women were at an Interstate 75 rest stop and that all 3 of them were standing in the nude putting on suntan lotion. When a Florida Highway Patrol trooper arrived at the rest stop, the naked women explained that they had simply been air drying in the nude after showering. Before the cop could complete her investigation, however, the trio jumped into their Nissan Sentra and drove off on the highway. Let me tell you, you're going to get really okay. For listeners who also listen to our previous podcast, Dudes from Dallas, you will remember Nick Vicious and his whole transmission ordeal.
Oh yeah.
Guess what? Nissan Sentra.
Well, as I'm reading the story, I do have to be fair to Florida. Out of the 3, only 1 was an actual Florida resident. The other 2 were from New York.
Oh, so 2 Yanks and a Floridian.
Yeah.
Well, then you know that the Floridian was the bad influence.
Maybe. Maybe. They were driving a car with New York's license plate, so.
Rental car.
No, that one girl is from New York. She's actually from Kingston, New York, about 90 miles north of New York City, so she was driving her car.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So after cops deployed stop sticks that deflated the car's right side tires, a pit maneuver brought the chase to a conclusion.
Stop sticks? I thought they were spike strips. Wait, is that maybe in Florida they have something different?
Exactly. Maybe. When the women refused to exit the vehicle, a cop broke out a window. The trio, arms interlocked, resisted arrest to the point that each was tasered before being taken into custody.
Oh my God.
Now, investigators identified the car's driver as Oasis Shakira McLeod, 18, and the passengers as Janiyah McLeod and Cecilia Unique Young, both 19. The women were charged with fleeing to elude, resisting arrest, aggravated assault, indecent exposure, and marijuana possession. The younger McLeod was also hit with a DUI count.
These women were not good looking, is what I'm getting from this story.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, you don't typically call the cops if you see hot women that are naked.
But it was another woman.
Oh, well, still. I'm just making an assumption, but that's just my 2 cents.
Well, let's see. Let's go to TampaBay.com.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Otherwise, we'll lose too much time. The next one's a good one.
All right.
Florida man buys.
Oh, by the way, not attractive.
I told you.
Yeah.
I was envisioning these large flowing.
Well, I'm looking at their mug shots.
Well, nobody's mugshot looks good. I've never had one, but I imagine most mugshots don't.
I don't know.
Good.
My mugshot looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I've seen it.
All right. So, moving on, our next lovely Florida man story.
Florida man buys an $8 million island, then steals from Kmart.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
He bought an $8 million island off of Key West and was trying to steal $300 in household items from Kmart.
blue light special over here.
And we don't have Kmart's in Texas anymore.
No, we don't.
But 59-year-old Andrew Lippy was arrested with a charge of felony grand theft. See, the Miami Herald reports that Lippy bought Thompson Island, which had been the home of a family of philanthropist Edward B. Knight. Now, Lippy also owns the Real World House in Key West. This is where MTV shot its 17th season. Lippy was trying... Was he trying to steal a Keurig?
No. Police say Lippy bought items, including a Keurig coffee maker, between March 30th and April 5th.
Well, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
He returned the original boxes with other items packed inside. So he didn't really... he didn't go into the store and try to steal the stuff. What he was doing the whole I bought this stuff and now I'm going to go return it, and inside the boxes are going to be something other than what I bought.
So that no wonder the theft allegation is complicated.
Yeah, he
what a douche.
Andrew here told the Herald the theft allegation is, like Nikki said, quote, complicated, unquote. And he'd rather not talk about it, which, okay.
What a douchebag.
I mean, when you think about this,
I thought he was like one of those old women that just goes inside of Target just to steal shit because they're bored. But no, he's one of those assholes that brings stuff back and it's not even the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate those people.
Yeah, I mean, and
they argue and they won't shut the hell up.
No, and you know, and sorry, if you're related to, or if you've been, you know, in some way connected to Edward B. Knight, who is like a Rotary Club, blah blah blah, big deal in Key West, Florida. There's something, you know, and you're doing this kind of stuff. There's something seriously.
I'm sure his friends probably knew that he did this. I mean, that's some sort of personality flaw. I mean, this guy is Larry David. Well, let's wrap it up with Florida man attacks neighbors with a frying pan and a lamp pole.
What?
I'm curious of how he did that. It says some neighborhood arguments get more out of hand than others, especially in Florida. The spat in Newport Richey, Florida over the weekend resulted in bloodshed. One man needed 6 staples to close the wound on the back of his head. Another man got locked up. Well, of course he got locked up. But 51-year-old Gerald Lee Thornton Jr. is charged with aggravated battery after attacking neighbors with a frying pan and a lamp pole. Doesn't say how he got the lamp pole.
Yeah, I'm really.
I'm looking. It does not say how. I mean, I'm just picturing, you know, him going all Hulk. You know, was it already laying there? Or?
I guess his arrest record indicates he's being held at the Land O'Lakes jail.
Is he making butter?
On a $10,000 bond. Deputies said one neighbor told them Thornton chased him with a frying pan, eventually catching up and striking him in the left side with it. That man managed to wrestle the cookware away and even landed enough punches to the suspect's head to knock him down.
An investigator said when Thornton got back up, he used a lamp pole. Again, where did he get it? To open a gash on the back of another guy's head. I mean, how the hell do you get a lamp pole?
Yeah, this feels...
Hey,
Jordan Smith.
come on, we need to know.
Hey, Jordan Smith of
you
Great
left out a
News.
huge detail.
Yeah. Hello, giant plot hole.
Yeah, if I was a reporter, I would want to know where that lamp hole came from. That would be intricate to my story of where he got that lamp hole.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I really want to know.
I mean, if I'm going to mention it, I would be like a lamp hole, which he found lying down on the ground, or ripped from the concrete in a fury. You know, I mean, where did he get it?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it more interesting.
I'm actually looking to see if I can find this.
This guy looks like Tuco.
From
Breaking Bad. It looks like, you know, if it is Tuco, you can see him ripping a lamp hole out of the ground.
See, that's this. Let's go. Let's look at another source here. Oh, come on.
They're not going to tell you. They probably don't know.
Yeah, it's all the same little wire story, and nobody says how he got the damn pole.
So, if I lived in Florida, I would definitely want to become a beat reporter because I would want to get out there and I'd want to know these bits of information, Like, how did he get that alligator up on that roof? Seriously. How did they do that? Those are details. If you're going to throw out these crazy things that these people do, I'd kind of like to know how they did them.
Yeah.
As part of the who, what, when, where, how. I'm missing the how.
Exactly.
We know where.
All right. So one last little thing that I've got to, I've really got to just kind of jump in on something. And I'm not, although it's kind of political in nature, I'm not doing this from a political standpoint.
If it's that damn thing you were putting together earlier, I'm walking out of this room.
No. That's for the job. That's for the paying job.
Because if I hear that one more time, I'm going to start climbing up this wall.
So, let's see. On a little less than a week ago, the Babylon Bee, a satirical site.
Yeah, kind of like The Onion.
But like this one is like, more like a Christian satire site. Mm-hmm. Okay. They published an article saying Ocasio-Cortez appears on The Price is Right. Alexandria, New York rep, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC. He said she was pumped to attend a taping of The Price is Right in Hollywood. The special guest introduced herself as a U.S. representative and a rising star of the Democrat Party. Things got interesting when the game began, and every time it was her turn to estimate the price of an item, her answer was free. Because she's all about that free 99. She's like, hey, if it's free, it is for me. Items included a set of Italian leather handbags, an all-expenses paid trip to the Bahamas, and a brand new 2019 BMW 330i. At all of which Ocasio-Cortez shouted, free! When host Drew Carey asked if Ocasio-Cortez understood the game's rules, she told Carey not to catcall her and then responded, don't hate me because you ain't me. She went on to guess that diamond earrings, a set of jet skis, and even a giant pile of cash were all free. Carey unveiled a package containing world-class health care, and she said, definitely free. She was at one point puzzled by a stack of croissants, but eventually guessed that they were also free. She was never able to advance to the game proper. She didn't make it out of contestants row.
Exactly. I was about to say she could never get off of contestants row.
Come on, at least do the $1 thing. And as the credits rolled, she appeared visibly upset. A hot mic picked up comments she made in frustration, claiming that the game was rigged by capitalism and that everybody knows giant piles of money are free. That's like basic economics 101. Okay. That's funny.
It is funny.
It is. Now, of course, it's, like I said, it's political in nature, but this is ribbon on somebody who's really been able to make an ass of themselves on a lot of different occasions.
Yeah, I can't identify with anybody that thinks that she's great because seriously, what she promotes is just evil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
You can hate me all you want, but,
exactly.
It's just evil.
Like I said, it's political in nature. Okay, I get that. I understand that.
So you're getting to the point of what? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Snopes, the fact-checking website that everybody seems to trust, actually took the time to fact-check the Babylon Bee. Now, when you go to the Babylon Bee's homepage,
it even says it's satirical.
It even says, the Babylon Bee is your trusted source for Christian news satire. It's right there. Satire.
Well, just go back. All you'd have to do is just look. She was never on The Price is Right. Duh.
Exactly. But of course, Snopes had to, fact check this. And
they're really bored.
They asked, did U.S. Rep. Ocasio-Cortez repeatedly guest free on TV show The Price is Right? Might be hard to come on down to The Price is Right if that's your only response. And of course, they said it's false.
Why doesn't Snopes fact check the fact that it used to be the Berenstein Bears. Now it's the Berenstain
Oh no,
Bears.
we talked about that.
I don't
before.
care. They're
the
doing something
Mandela effect
stupid.
is real.
I know it is. Then they need to fact check it.
But, and this is what Snopes wrote. In mid-April 2019, an image supposedly showing U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez guessing that the cost of an item was free during an appearance on the daytime television game show The Price is Right started circulating on social media. This is not a genuine photograph of Ocasio-Cortez on the show. This image was created for a satirical article that was originally published by the Babylon Bee. The satirical article stated, she was pumped to be on the tape in The Price is Right, blah, 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 blah. The Babylon Bee is an entertainment website that does not publish factual content. A disclaimer at the bottom of the news website states, see, this viral image combined a photograph of the Congresswoman during her appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in June 2018 and is still from an October episode of The Price is Right. The image of her was slotted directly in front of the center contestant, and then they show how it is actually, achieved, which, hello? I mean, duh. I have to rip on Snopes for actually taking the time to find where that image of AOC came from and which episode of The Price is Right, the contestant's row shot was used for. I mean, you can even look at the way that free is labeled on her, on the thing in front of her, and that's not how it would look.
Yeah, these people are idiots.
So Snopes, you're sorry. Like I said, I got to call you out for being wasting your time fact-checking satire. And that is what's wrong with everything today. Nobody has a sense of humor. Nobody can take a joke. Everybody's being manipulated. We're all being thrown into boxes and expected to either get along or tear each other apart. And right now we're doing a much better job of tearing each other apart than we are of actually just laughing at ourselves.
Yeah, it's sad. We have no sense of humor anymore.
Yeah, I mean...
Everybody, it's like their spine is missing.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to the old adage of sticks and stones?
Oh, now it's words will hurt me.
Oh, yeah, I mean, words basically just rape you.
You just rape me with your words.
Yeah.
And the way you look at me.
I mean, and
I'm offended.
I mean, and your ear holes might be hurting.
Stop
right now. I mean, just saying.
Well, that's it for this episode.
Let's see. On the next episode, we'll be talking about a new survey that has recently come out saying that nearly 3 in 10 Americans are stuck in a sexual dry spell for almost a year.
Yeah, and something about the funeral industry and much, much more as it comes in.
Yeah, so tune in for all of that and much, much more. Check us out on Twitter at ROCW_podcast, or you can follow me at the Rob Rotten.
And I don't know what mine is.
You don't know what your Twitter handle is?
Oh, at DFW Radio Girly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Or you can check us out at on Facebook, facebook.com/ROCW podcast. Let's see, we're working on getting onto iHeartRadio, but you can check us out on any podcast platform, anywhere free podcasts are sold. So that's going to do it for us today on Reality on Call Waiting. I'm Rob Rotten.
I'm Nikki Tsundere.
6 Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.